Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of the SH MonsterArts MOGUERA. I say MOGUERA because that's how the announcer in Godzilla Unleashed says his name, so that's how I will be referring to him throughout this review. Now, MOGUERA was an earlier release in the SH MonsterArts line, and it was the second mecha after Mechagodzilla. Obviously, MOGUERA is a very odd choice, with an odd design, so what exactly does this unique character bring to the table and the SH MonsterArts line? So first thing is first, let's look at the sculpt of MOGUERA. It's a robot. Not too much could be done to really screw up a robot, but let's take a look at what's there. You can see the individual indents on the little shoulder caps here of MOGUERA, and you can see the, I guess they would be vents on the back. It's featured on the shoulder pads here on the thighs, and everywhere else really where there's blue. Ooh, here's something really cool in terms of sculpt. Let me see if it'll focus in. MOGUERA's got some bug eyes going on. Like how a fly has all of those little different markings on its eye. So does MOGUERA. That is detail if I've ever seen it. The head is meant to come off. I'll show you why later. Also, looking at the bottom of his feet, there are these little red jewel type thingamabobbers. Nice little touch, even on places where you aren't normally going to look. Even at the bottom of the tail. Get a flash of red. Yep, there you go. And the tail looks just about fine. So for the paint, it is a nice metallic-y color all over. Metallic blue, metallic silver, except for you have parts here where it's just a flat orange type deal. And the eyes are a nice yellow color. So overall, it works for MOGUERA. There's nothing amazingly outstanding. It looks like MOGUERA, sculpt paint-wise. Though I do have to say, overall, MOGUERA seems to me, it's probably just me, a little bit thicker than the on-screen counterpart, but considering the time era, it's probably right. So overall, MOGUERA, perfectly fine sculpt and paint. Absolutely no complaints at all. Moving right along, the next feature of MOGUERA is articulation. And as per the usual, start with the head, work the way down to the feet. So let's start with the head. Okay, so as I showed you earlier, the head can come off at the neck area. But MOGUERA has a little bit of a secret. I actually didn't learn about this until I did this on accident. Watch the nose, the drill. It turns. It next to completely pointless, really, because what are you going to do? But that is such a cool little detail. The drill moves. The head is on a ball joint. And the interesting thing about the head, I don't know whether or not this was intended, or they didn't have enough foresight into this one, but MOGUERA can turn his head normally, about that far anymore, and pop. Very easily. It doesn't, the sculpting, just drop it. There you go. The sculpting doesn't work too well with the neck, so got to be careful with the range of movement there. Going down, I'll start with the back here. This moves out, and it can be arranged for flying mode, which I will show you later. And this little button here, very important for changing accessories, and I will get to that during the accessories and effects parts segment. moving right along to the shoulders. The shoulder pads here, they move, and the shoulders themselves move. Move them out, move them around, have them do different things. They're on a pretty much just a kind of swivel joint, swivel hinge combo. And the arms here actually have, it's very hard to do, for mine at least, a bicep swivel. I'm putting a lot of pressure here, and I'm afraid it's going to snap. So that's about the only time you're going to see me do it. I'm not going to try it for that one. But there is a hinge at the elbow too. So, standard fare for the arms. Waist. Feels like it's a ball joint, because it is. And you can twist one direction, twist in the other. Just be careful that the fin on the back doesn't rub up against the thigh platings. Don't want to cause paint rub there. Next up, I'll go down to here, the tail area, because there is a joint on the inside here. And you can actually, best if you do this, remove the tail, and the joint here moves. It's kind of, this goes into this marking here, and then it moves independently. You can get it to move. Not too much. And the tail is on a swivel hinge combo, so giving you basically all the movements of a ball joint. Now to show you the leg articulation, I will keep his tail off, so you can see the inner workings here. There's the little U shape here. Legs are on a ball joint. But unfortunately, this thigh skirt thing is completely immobile. You cannot move it. So it hinders articulation of the legs going out and going forward and back. It bumps into the skirt and you can't move it anymore. So that's kind of a bummer. So the thigh hip area is a ball joint. Knee is a basic hinge, and you can only get, once again, whatever you can move with that doesn't bump into this skirt thing on MOGUERA. And then ball jointed feet. So yeah, articulation on MOGUERA, it works. It fits a robot, but preferably this area should be able to move. That and the articulation would be absolutely perfect. Effects parts and accessories. Alright, MOGUERA. Slide you out for a minute. Let's focus on down here. Let's start off first with the bases that MOGUERA comes with. MOGUERA comes with this little city base with buildings, and also with this street base. You can connect them together. However you want. Yeah, I mean, they're not meant to be connected together, but you can do whatever you want with them. And alongside that, MOGUERA also comes with 3 stage act arms. Why 3? This is why. 2 of them are for smoke trails. There are 2 other accessories MOGUERA comes with that use this, and you combine, because each trail is separated into 2 pieces, and look at how long that is. Here's MOGUERA. MOGUERA is about 6 inches. Yeah. That's not all going to fit on camera. But you're probably asking, what is this for? Well, simple. These come off. These little claw things. And with them, you have interchangeable opening ones that come with little missiles. See? 2 parts. So you can have the missiles inside here, as I had before, or you plug in the smoke trail, and then, oh, yeah, there's a little, focus that in, there's a little nub. Why won't you focus? There we go. Little nub that needs to come off. And then you pop it onto the missile, like so. And you can do it for both of them, but just for your time's sake, I won't. And then you just need to find on here, because it can be confusing. There we go. The hole in the smoke trail, and then bada boom. MOGUERA's firing a missile at the base. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's very long. Getting both of them to coordinate in the same direction takes some skill. Okay, so as some of you may know, that is not MOGUERA's only attack. What else does he come with, you might ask? Well, remember when I showed you earlier how you can pop the back fin off of MOGUERA? There's this little secret switch here. You press it, it just comes out. You gotta work it. Interchangeable part for this little beam thing. Satellite dish. I don't know what you would call it. And it looks like he's about to charge and fire his beam. And once again, it's what you use the stage act arm for. And here's his beam. Connects to his chest area. And it looks eerily similar to Mechagodzilla's. So once again, you just look for the hole, plug it in. Oh, come on. That'll work for now. Position it properly. Come on, you. And it actually fits in. So it genuinely looks like it's one piece firing. Now, what else does MOGUERA come with? Because that is not all. You thought that would be enough for one particular release, but oh no. MOGUERA is packed with accessories. Absolutely packed to the brim. So, if you know a little bit about MOGUERA, you know that MOGUERA can fly. And by popping these out on the side here, you can put on little jets. Yeah, that's the right. It's been a while since I've seen the movie that MOGUERA is from. So, pardon me. And then, what you do, the little trick is, on these, you push up, and then you can put them in. And also, this little part here can come off. Whoa! And you can put a little blade on Help if I aligned it correctly. And remember when I pulled MOGUERA's neck off earlier? Go ahead and do that again. For a flight neck. So MOGUERA can look upward. Hassle-free change. And now you have a flying MOGUERA. Yeah, I'll stop making noises. So, that is all MOGUERA comes with, and that is a lot. Basically, if you are looking for a MOGUERA figure, this is the only one you're going to need for all the different effect parts, unless you're looking for, say, one that can transform, then you may need to look elsewhere. But with all of the different accessories and doodads that MOGUERA comes with, in the accessories department, it is one of the best, if not the best, MonsterArts figure. Next up, scale. Since any good Godzilla fan would know that MOGUERA does not show up in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla by himself, chances are you're probably wondering, well, how does MOGUERA look next to other monsters that co-star alongside him? Here's Godzilla. MOGUERA is taller, so that does feature in with both Toho stats and sizing in the movie. And next to him, Space Godzilla. About the same size, especially factoring in shoulder crystals. So, scaling seems to be just perfectly fine there. And then I don't recall MOGUERA ever coming in contact with him, but just because they were in the same movie, and some people would like to know, here is MOGUERA with little Godzilla. No, he's only so tall. He's a baby. Yeah, so, as with other releases in the SH MonsterArts line, all of the monsters from one movie, they scale really, really well together. My final thoughts on MOGUERA. At first, I didn't really care for this guy. Different, strange, not appealing. For months, I would hear people say, oh, you gotta pick him up, such a great figure. Oh, you gotta get MOGUERA, it's one of the best in the SH MonsterArts line. Yada, 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 so on and so forth. And I kept thinking, I don't like him. I don't like it. The design doesn't appeal to me. Sure, there are a lot of accessories, but I don't really feel anything for MOGUERA. Just kind of a throwaway robot in a movie. But then a sale came along, and I decided, you know what, why not? Let's just give it a shot. Pretty cheap. What could it hurt? When I opened them and pulled them out of the box, I noticed MOGUERA is pretty heavy. There's a lot of die cast on this guy. I mean, you can hear it. You can hear it clanking. The feet. That's where most of the die cast is. And you know, yeah, MOGUERA is weird. Weird design, weird name. Kinda out of place. Oh, hey, I'm a robot mole penguin thing in a movie with a giant radioactive lizard and a giant radioactive lizard from space. I don't stick out like a sore thumb at all. But this is a really nice figure. There are a lot of accessories. The price point, initial MSRP, leaves a little bit to be desired at about $80 through Bluefin. But it currently is on sale on Amazon for about $64. And the only complaints that I have, this skirt thing should be a little bit movable. It should have some articulation because it completely blocks the thighs, the legs in general. I mean, MOGUERA can't do much with the legs aside from that. But the detail on it is completely striking. And the only other thing that I would say that's kind of an issue, but not really, because that's not really Tamashii Nation's thing, just to transform into the different MOGUERA forms. But that could be a web exclusive sometime later, for all I know. MOGUERA has a lot of very, very small details, and there's a lot of personality in this. I mean, the articulated drill nose, it's just a swivel, but who does that? That's such great attention to detail. I like it. So I'd have to say, if you're on the fence about MOGUERA, if you can find it for just the right price, I'd say $60 that's good. That's a good enough price. Go ahead and get it. Hopefully, like me, you will not be disappointed.